So, The Last of Us Season 2, Episode 1 came out a few days ago. Now, as of recording right now, only Episode 1 has come out, and most of the episodes haven't come out yet. But yeah, first episode came out, and I have some, you know, thoughts to address the big elephant in the room. Of course, Bella Ramsey is kind of a problem. I saw a lot of criticisms on the internet that, oh, if you don't like Bella Ramsey, you're just a pedophile. Because, of course, you want her to be pretty because she's an underage character or, playing an underage character. So you must be a PDF file. And I just gotta say, that's just a dumb fucking argument. How do you even make that connection? Ellie and Bella Ramsey just don't look the part. Like Bella Ramsey just can't play older Ellie. That's just the thing. She just doesn't look the part. That doesn't mean that she's ugly or anything. She just doesn't look threatening. She still looks like a 12-year-old. She was able to play the character of younger Ellie in season 1 correctly because, she looked the part, she acted. I mean, yeah, I in my opinion, she was able to capture the season 1, like the first game Ellie persona pretty well. So I thought she was pretty good in season 1. But in season 2, she just kind of fumbles. It's like she hasn't grown a bit personality wise and looks wise. At least they should have made her go through like some sort of makeover. Like the kind of transition that Colin Farrell went in The Penguin. Like he was damn near unrecognizable in that show, and he played that part pretty well, like top notch. He was on point. And that's kind of my whole argument, is that she just doesn't look the part. She still looks very young to play Ellie, who is a much older character. She doesn't look threatening. So, when you're making an adaptation that's pretty accurate, I mean, why is she the anomaly? Again, characters like Dana and all the other characters, they look perfectly casted. They capture the personality of the original characters pretty well enough. But for some reason, Ellie is the anomaly. I mean, just look at these two posters and you tell me what's the problem. Like, as you can see, the one on the right looks like, oh shit, that's kind of threatening. And the one on the left just kind of looks like, oh shit, I'm sorry, I took your toys. Don't be mad at me. Like, I know it's not her fault, but at the same time, when you're making an adaptation and you have casted everyone else that looks very accurate and also acts accurately to their, source material, you can't really just pull something like this for one of the main characters. By the way, she's not even a side character, so you can't even say that. And then again, Last of Us is a visual medium. It's not even like a novel, so you can kind of get away with some of these things. In a novel, it's not really established like visually, so you can still digest the change. But since, Last of Us is a visual medium, like it's a video game and people have seen the character and how she acts, it's kind of hard to digest that character in this completely different way, where she looks a lot more younger and acts the same like she did when she was 14. It's kind of like Timothy Chalamet, like if you made Timothy Chalamet play like an older character like Wolverine or Logan, for example, that would never fit. Yeah, sure, he's a good actor, but that doesn't mean he can play any character. You have to like look at the character that would fit him and not just give him a random 40-year-old, 30-year-old character that he just doesn't even looks like the same. Like he looks a lot more younger and that would never fit him. That's just how it is. He doesn't have the look for it, at least not yet. And that's the same thing with Bella Ramsey. Everyone else was pretty much casted perfectly. And that's kind of my point. The second problem that people have had with the episode that I don't really agree with is that some people were saying, oh, Wumbo Jumbo, Joel is a crybaby. He has a therapist. What a pathetic little man. And again, it's like most of these people either only played the first game and they didn't play the second one, or they just don't realize the whole point of why he's like this. I can understand because you probably looked at Ellie and you thought, oh, it's probably been 5 days and, not 5 years. But I get that whole argument. But Joel has been in a very calm environment for 5 years. There's a dialogue in the game that kind of says, like, where Ellie asks Joel that, hey, how do you deal with killing people? Like, yeah, sure, we're killing them in self defense, but still, how do you deal with that? They probably have families and friends too. And Joel just basically says that, yeah, it's, you just don't have to think about it. And that's kind of the thing. He ends up thinking about it for the past 5 years. He has had a long retrospection of what he has done in the past 5 years. And I feel like that's pretty accurate. Like, that is what would happen to a man who would kind of look back on everything that he has done in the past years or so. He's not having constant brushes with death. He's not constantly on the move. He has settled down for 5 years. He has mellowed down for 5 years. He's having trouble with Ellie, and he's trying to be a father to Ellie. So it just makes sense that he's gone soft. It just makes sense that he has gone soft because he has been in this calm environment for so long, and he's finally turning normal, basically. So it totally makes sense. And even in the game, Joel was turning a bit soft comparatively to the first game. Like, he wasn't this badass, like, nonchalant who just only talks in grunts and stuff. No, he was also soft in the game too, and it just makes sense. So I just don't really get why some people just want Joel to be this one dimensional character where he never grows and just talks in grunts and, like, nonchalant, aura farming or something. Like, I just don't really get that. But yeah, how was the overall first episode? I think the overall first episode was pretty strong. I mean, it was pretty good. That scene with Joel in therapy session, like, he has a therapy session. Not really like a huge spoiler. That was a kind of a new thing because that was not in the game. But he has a therapy session, and that scene was pretty good. That scene was very powerful. Pedro Pascal just kills it. And every other character is just perfectly casted. They're definitely doing some things that are different than the game, which is a good thing because, as you all would know, I am not really a fan of the second game. I feel like the gameplay and the graphics were good, but the story was kind of a step down from the first one. It was still decent, but it was not like Last of Us 1 level. But for second season, they are still following the same story beat, but they're taking it in a little bit of a different direction. There was one cringy scene in the beginning, though, where, there's a certain character called Abby, and she basically says that I'm gonna kill Joel slowly. Now, for spoilers, if you're watching this, if you don't want any spoilers, just quit the video. But that's such a that's such a show don't tell, like, rule breaking law. Like, I just don't get it why they did that. Like, that kind of takes the shock value away where Joel dies in the most, like, slowly gruesome way. Here she just says, I'm gonna kill Joel slowly and painfully. Like, in the game when it happens, it's such a surprise. Like, you can kind of see it coming, but when he dies, it's such a surprise. But now they just kind of ruined it, and she literally just says it that, yeah, I'm gonna kill Joel slowly and painfully. Like, just show us what she's feeling like instead of telling us what she's feeling like. What they should have done is that there should have been a scene where she doesn't talk and we just see her raw emotions through her face and her eyes and stuff. But they didn't do that. She just basically says, I'm gonna kill Joel slowly. We're gonna do it slowly. So I thought that was a bit goofy, but other than that, I feel like the zombies are well made, the set pieces are pretty good, the set design, like, I don't think most of it is, like, done in real life, like, it's on set. So, it obviously looks good. But yeah, Ellie is going to be a little hard to look at for the rest of the season because I can't imagine taking someone who looks like that in a threatening way. Like, she's not even ugly. The problem is that she just doesn't look threatening. Like, I can't take her seriously, She just still looks like young Ellie. It's like one of those Red Dead Redemption 2 mods where young Jack, where they kind of mod young Jack with Arthur Morgan and he tries to, like, take down the gang and stuff. It's not tough. It just looks funny and goofy. That's the same thing with this show. And I don't know how they're going to handle that. But hey, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe this is going to be like the best show ever made and it's going to get all the Emmy awards. But yep, that's pretty much about it.